Gotta thank YAHUAH for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank YAHUAH for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Shalom, Yasharallah. So we got something fresh out the frying pan. Nice hot topic. Now, I know some of you have already heard that the UN declares war on dangerous conspiracy theories. Now, somewhat this may be new news to some, but this was spoken by the prophets thousands of years ago. So it is nothing new under the sun. But I do want to bring out some points and what we really need to look forward to in the future. To understand why the UN would declare war on conspiracy theories, you have to understand the whole rise and what's happening with our people. Now, we know that there's definitely a awakening that's happening around the world. And when I say awakening, I'm talking about a consciousness of people really waking up. Now, let's deal with our people for a second here. Now, we know that our people, specifically the ones that are chosen, are waking up to their lost heritage. We're getting back to the laws and commandments and statutes with all our might, heart, and soul, and strength. But you have other groups of our people who are becoming consciously, they're not necessarily awakening to the truth, but they are becoming aware that something is going on, something is not right. We've been lied to for all these years. And then you have the heathens that are becoming more conscious, but they're not awakening in the fact like we are waking up, but they are awakening to the fact of the wrongs that their forefathers have committed against our people. They may try to hide it, but deep down they know. They know the great punishment that's going to come upon the heathen nations. And what I mean by saying that the heathens are awakening to the wrong, so let's go ahead and get the cat out the bag. They've always knew deep down the guilt that possessed them from the very beginning. But this is a little different. This is something so much more intense that they are waking up, the heathens I'm talking about. And they know that judgment is coming. They see the truth of our people. They know, they're starting to really see, in a sense, that our people were the original people on this earth. They're starting to realize that little by little. Now, the mainstream heathens are still kind of like in that flux, but deep down they're starting to see, because the Most High is, as he is moving all these pieces around and he's putting everything together, he's judging our people at the same time, and he's judging the nations at the same time as well. So that's why it seems like there's just so much going on right now around us, and there's so many moving pieces. But the way the Most High is going to bring everything together is just going to be phenomenal. And you know, we still have a lot of work to do, and we just have to be patient and allow the Most High to do his work, because these things must come to pass in order to put us in the right mindset. You know, it doesn't work like how we want it to work. So go ahead and just get that out your mind, because the Most High's time frame is not the same as ours. All right, so let's go ahead and read some of this article that the UN put out. And, you know, you all can fact check this yourselves. I mean, it's out there. You know, we live in a computer information world. You can go to physical, you can go to the library, wherever you want to go to research this stuff. You're going to find it. The United Nations has declared war on conspiracy theories, describing the rise of conspiracy thinking as worrying and dangerous. and providing the public with a toolkit to pre-bunk and to debunk anybody who dares to suggest that the world governments are anything but completely honest, understanding, and transparent. Wow. So this is what is happening. Now, I don't need to read any further because you can clearly see all this for yourself. But what they're saying is the fact that anyone who does not trust the government, or anyone who calls out the government as liars or what have you, untrustworthy, these are people who are going to be classified as conspiracy theories. Now, I gotta read this portion right here. All right, because this is right here. This is the icing on the cake, y'all. It says the UN also warns that George Soros, the Rothschilds, and the state of Israel, y'all hear that? And the state of Israel must not be linked to any alleged conspiracies. Now, what do these three have in common? Of course, we know that they are all Khazars. They are the so-called, what the world calls the Zionists, the fakies, the Jews, as the world loves to call them. And think about it. You know, already this stuff has been in effect. And that's why, like, anytime someone says something about the state of Israel or someone or a high official or something like that, what's the first thing they always cry? Anti-Semitism. That's what they cry. Anti-Semitism all the time. And so these imposters have come up with this plot, this plan to war against the Most High's people. You know, social media was specifically created to control the minds of the masses, and it is working. But there's one thing our enemies did not expect. They did not expect the true rising of the men of the Most High, the servants, the true servants of the Almighty, to come out and rise up. That totally caught them off guard because their cover is being blown. And Israel, I can't even begin to tell you what comes next. So brace yourselves. All right, go ahead and turn to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, and we're going to go to chapter 2 of the book of Psalms. And let's start with verse 1. It says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" Now, we know these heathens have been warring against us from the very beginning with all kinds of manner of wickedness and tools that they have used to keep our people in a ruckus. Verse 2, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuah." You hear that? Let me read that again. "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuah and against Mashiach," and against his Mashiach, saying, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sits in the heavens shall laugh. Adonai shall have them in derision." Verse 5, "Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree Yahuwah has said unto me. You are my son. This day have I begotten you." Verse 8, "Ask of me, and I shall give you the heathen for your inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. Ye shall dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." In the beginning of chapter 2, it said, "Why do the heathen rage?" Now, the devil knows when his time is about up. And the devil knows that there is a shift change that is happening not only in the United States, but across this earth. There is a shift change that is happening. And that shift change is that their kingdoms are starting to crumble from the inside out. Now, wars and rumors of wars have been happening for thousands of years. And that's not what I'm talking about. That's going to continue to go on. And we've had plagues and pestilence that makes COVID look like a cakewalk, okay? So don't get it twisted, Israel. There are a lot of things that are still having to take place. And as the Most High is moving his pieces. So, we just need to be faithful unto death. We need to really buckle down, and we need to keep these commandments with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the rest will take care of itself. At the same time, we must occupy. We must prepare ourselves. Doesn't mean we just sit around and twiddle our thumbs, We got to start making preparations, whether that's buying land, coming together in little small groups. You got to do what you got to do, because that's what the Most High expects of us. All right. Because there are some very, very hard times that are getting ready to come. And I'm telling you, this earth is going to shake and well. And a lot of our people, of course, are going to be shaken out, and they're going to be shaken asunder, because it's going to take the strong to survive it. It's going to take such a mental state of mind that's going to have to be so strong and connected and rooted in the Most High's word that nothing is going to be able to sway you to the left or to the right. And that's how strong you're going to have to be. Like, you're going to have to anchor yourself like solid. You know how them big Navy ships, they just throw that anchor out in the water and they won't even budge. They're just solid as a rock. And that's the way we got to be. We got to be so solid to the point where nothing can move us spiritually, mentally. If you didn't know by now through history that it was against the law to speak negative or against the Roman Empire in any form or fashion, that was the case for hundreds of years during the rule of the Roman Empire. You could not speak freely against the government of Rome. You could not. And that's why Hamashiach and the apostles, they had to speak in codes in certain ways, because they were sending people to the galleys. They were imprisoning people. They would sentence people to death. The Romans had these underground chambers where they would keep their prisoners if they spoke against the Roman Empire. And they would be in these chambers for the rest of their lives. And they would just decay away with disease and all manner of sickness. I mean, it was crazy. And that's why when the Bible described how Rome would be in Daniel, it said that it would be the most fearsome kingdom, terrible, with great iron teeth. And that's exactly how they were, because they were fierce, And this is history. I mean, this is straight up history, that you could not speak against the Roman Empire in any form or fashion. And y'all can also fact check this as well. But this happened in history, and we know that the past was a whole different type of beast back then. All right. Everything that you see now, this whole free thinking stuff, that did not exist in the Roman Empire. And that's why you could not speak freely against any form of the Roman government without being punished. So I share this with you to say this. What we're seeing right now with the UN and declaring war on conspiracy theories, that is just a small step. I'm telling you, all these things that are taking place is going to build up to the mark of the beast. And there's going to come a time where our people will be killed for speaking out against the government or any form of the government. All right. When this whole worldwide system kicks in, I'm talking about when it's confirmed. We know that it's working towards a worldwide system as we speak. But when the mark of the beast literally takes place and that decree goes to kill anyone who has not received the mark, that's going to be a time of hell for our people. You think we've seen hell? Oh no. We ain't seen nothing yet, Yasharala. We ain't seen not even a tidbit of it. But you wait, because what's coming is going to come like a whirlwind. And let me explain why you have not seen hell yet. See, you still have the freedom to get in your cars, go everywhere you want to go. You have the freedom to get a plane ticket and to fly anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the world, or wherever you want to go. You have all these freedoms still. You can go to school, get your degree, whatever you got to do. You can start your business, different kinds of business. You know, you just got to jump through the hoops and everything. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at? So, you know, we have not seen hell yet, because we're still able to do a lot of these things, and to live and about and live anywhere, buy land and all that kind of stuff. You know, when the rubber meets the road, and when it comes down to the mark of the beast and accepting the mark of the beast, our people, the ones who are sincerely strong, are going to lose everything, because they're going to be so firm, they're going to be so strong in their stance that nothing is going to move them. But for the rest of our people who are just so weak, they're going to just blow away like the wind. Any little sign of threat or inclination of some kind of trouble that's coming, they're going to just fall. They're going to just fall away, melt away, because they're not ready for this. They're not ready for what's to come on this earth. And that's going to be the fire that's going to cleanse and purify our people. And you got to understand, in order to purify something, you must destroy something. You must destroy the old. You must destroy all the wickedness, the drought, and all that, you know, crust and just disease. You got to burn all of that stuff out. And a lot of that stuff is so inwoven into our people that, unfortunately, the only way to burn it out is to be completely destroyed. Revelation 3:18. I counsel you to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that you may be rich, and white raiment, that you may be clothed, that the shame of your nakedness do not appear, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see. So this goes in line in working out our salvation with fear and trembling. Zechariah 13:9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, YAHUAH is my Elohim. But let's get a little more specific. Let's see who specifically these people that it's talking about. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 73. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Let me read that one more time, just in case you didn't get it. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So all these scriptures led up to being his chosen people. So it's very easy to understand, and it's very straightforward that it's going to be his people. The Most High did not make a covenant with the heathen nations. There's not one verse in the scriptures where he made a covenant with the other nations. We made a covenant with the other nations by turning to their gods and turning to their women. Yes, we made that covenant with the other nation, and that's why we ended up in captivity so many times, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. It's because we keep making covenants with our enemies. I don't know what it is about our people always wanting to make pacts with their enemies. And I showed you in the last lesson I did, we went to First Maccabees and showed you how our forefathers made a pact with the Greeks. I mean, it never stops. You know, our people are just doing the most, and they don't get it. Always want to make pacts with their enemies. And we were told over and over not to trust our enemies. What part of that do we not understand? I mean, help me to make that make sense. After all these times, our enemies and all the things that the enemies have done to us, and we still turn around and trust these people. Believe every word that comes out of their mouth. And that's why so many people were duped into taking this vaccine. Because, you know, our people, they don't, it's like they don't have the mind to really do their own research. It's like they're lazy. It's like they don't want to put in the work and to see the dangers and see the disasters that are happening with our people, because they just accept everything as is and they just go along with it and they don't even bother to question it. So let me remind you what the scripture says again concerning our enemies. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, or the wisdom of Sirach, starting with verse 10. It says, never trust her enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and you shall be unto him as if you had wiped a looking glass. So in other words, you always got to watch your back around these people. And you shall know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. In other words, they will stab you in the back like they've done for thousands of years. Verse 12, set him not by you, lest when he has overthrown you, he stand up in your place. Neither let him sit at your right hand, lest he seek to take your seat. And you at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So we are not to trust our enemies. All right. And you know, it's sad because our own people, you know, some of them are the main ones you can't even trust. But at the same time, you know, these are the enemies, our foes, our enemies within our own household. These are the ones we are to love, not the enemies outside of Israel. So this verse is specifically talking about our enemies. Don't go trusting these people constantly, because you're going to get burned every time. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that has joy of his children, and he that lives to see the fall of his enemy. Now, only by the grace of the Most High, if we are allowed to see the fall of our enemy, but I do know one thing. We are seeing a change. We are seeing these nations crumble from the inside out. And that's for sure. We are seeing the disasters of the earth are increasing more and more. But that's going to happen because that's the earth rising up and cleansing itself of its impurity. See, the Most High built in a system when he created this earth to be able to self-cleanse itself. Just like our bodies. Think about it for a minute. Just like our bodies have the ability to self-cleanse itself if we allow it to. That's why fasting is good, because it allows our bodies to cleanse. So this earth that the Most High has created, it has a self-cleansing system built into it to rid of any impurities. And that's why you see the sun is getting hotter and hotter every year, and a lot of people are being exposed. And you're going to know who are the real people of this earth and who are the fake people of this earth, not the real. And so nature is going to expose all of that. And that's why, you know, I've been saying that you ain't got to worry about a race war, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to. The Most High is already exposing all the impurities of the earth. Any species that were not created by the hands of the Most High is going to be destroyed. And you can bank on that. Because anything that's not natural, anything that did not come out of the Most High's laboratory is going to be burned in the fire and never ever come back again. You know, so let the UN declare their war. You know, they cannot, their arms are way too short to be trying to box with the Most High. They're not going to be successful. They're not going to succeed. because they will be overcome. So let them do their thing. Let them rage. Let them set all their laws and what have you. Even the Bible says in Job 94, Job 9:24 says that the world is given into the hands of the wicked. Only for a time being, though. So don't get it twisted. We're going to get this world back, but it has to go through its cleansing process. It's going to have to eliminate all the impurities. And that's why the Most High tells us not to trust our enemies. What's it going to take in order for our people to get that through their heads? And you want to know what's crazy? Ever since this war in Ukraine with Russia has been going on, you know how much money the US and other countries literally sent to the UK? Over $50 billion. Now, I'm sure the numbers are way up by now, but you got to understand something here. Now, let's use a little logic here. Now, they know the history of our people. They know that we were brought over here on slave ships. They know that our forefathers did not get their 40 acres and a mule. But you know what? I can care less what they didn't do, because the Most High is going to give them to us as slaves. And we're going to take the world back regardless. So this doesn't matter. But the point that I want to bring out, the fact that they can send over $50 billion over to these people, but they can't even budge on giving reparations to my people. And you see how they are. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. The word does not lie about these people. Now, I want y'all to do some research. Write this down. Go study the Ukraine year of return. It was around 2013. And a lot of people in Jerusalem, these Khazars, they were trying to make a run to go back to Ukraine to try to, I guess, whatever, land and everything. But Russia put a stop to that. But you didn't really hear about that in the news. That was exposed. So this whole war that's going on, this thing's been going on for a while, ever since Ukraine got their independence. But interesting though, is that Ukraine is the birthplace of these Khazars, the so-called ones that they're calling Jews in Jerusalem. Go study the history of these people. So all this stuff, all this hoopla that's going on with this war in Ukraine and everything, it's all about those people. And they are being exposed. And see, Russia is not backing down, because Russia knows the truth. Putin knows the deal with these people. He knows that these people are imposters. And a lot of the rest of the world leaders know that themselves. But, they don't care, because their mission is to go directly against the Most High, the Almighty. And they are using Hollywood. And if you notice that they are getting more, they are becoming more intense with their movies and pushing their wicked agendas on our people, especially on our people, because that's what it's all about, y'all. Because at the end of the day, they don't matter. They know they're not nothing. They know that they're like spittle. They know that the true people of the Most High are still on this earth and are still scattered to the four corners. They've known this, and they've seen how resilient we are. They've implanted all kinds of manner of diseases in us. They tried to kill us off 1,000 times over, but they have failed in every attempt. So when I say these people are extremely diabolical, I mean, you can take that to the bank. That's who they are 1,000% of the time. And that's why they are going to be cleansed from the face of the earth by the hand of the Most High. Not by our hands, but by the hands of the Most High. Now, there will come a time where we will take part in that when this whole army comes. But for now, we are seeing the powerful works of the Most High. And just his creation alone with this built-in cleansing system is doing the work. Slowly but surely, it's increasing. So don't let these people fool you. Don't let them make you think that it's all going to be okay, and we can be trusted and everything. Come on now, come on, Israel. Y'all ought to know better. And if y'all think opposite, woe unto you, because our people are lost. And so, as the UN declares war on these so-called dangerous conspiracy theories, so that means that they're going to turn up the heat on certain channels, and you already know what the deal is. You know, brothers like me and other people who are lifting our people up above all nations. See, they don't want to hear the fact that we are above all nations. Oh, that burns them up to the core. And y'all know something? I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know, every now and then, you know, and I am working on another hidden identities series, but I'm not going to tell you when it's going to come out though. So, because I want this particular one to be very powerful. But you know, the one I did, the hidden identity, the one I did on the Moors. Do you know that I still, every now and then, I still get white people that will comment, and they'll just try to convince everybody that the Moors are pale. Now, these people, they just can't let it go, y'all. They hate the fact. They hate the fact that the original people were melanated people. That scares them to the core. They don't like the fact. And see, and this is why this whole thing is coming out. They don't want to see us rise up. They don't want the world to know the big cover-up, the big secret, what they've been hiding all these years. They don't want the world to know that. But it doesn't matter, because the Most High is revealing all that. So it's like their mindset, you know, when I say that they have that superiority mindset, that's exactly what they have. And that's why they love to play their little slave movies. Hollywood loves to make their little slave movies just to remind us and make them feel validated and make them feel good. Because they love seeing stuff like that. And you leave it up to them, oh yeah, it would be back the way it was. Now, it's going to be slavery, all right. Oh yeah, that's going to come. But guess what? It ain't going to be our people. It ain't going to be the chosen ones. I can guarantee you that. So get ready. And they know this. So, you know, this is why the heathens are raging. So this stuff that they're doing, the UN, other organizations, and the governments, this shouldn't faze you at all, Israel. None of this stuff should faze you. If you truly have your feet planted in the Word, and you keep these laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of your ability, then you're going to be good. And the men who have the head, it is our responsibility to affirm that and to guard these commandments, to protect our children and our wives. Because it is the men that the Most High is calling, and they will rise up because it said it in His Word. So just brace yourself, Israel, because it's going to be one hell of a ride. So with that being said, I say shalom and stay strong.
I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of lies. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahuah's day. I gotta thank Yahuah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of Mashiach. Oh, whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. I gotta thank Yahuah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, whoa, hey, hey, whoa, whoa. Do, da, da, da. Do, do 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 da da. Do 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 da da do. Beep do da da do 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 da 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 da. Do we do we do 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 da 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 da. Do 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 do.